I'm bored. Aw, man. I wish there was a way to get new video games from the comfort of my own home.
The future is now, kid! That's right, we have an online store with so many video games, it's bigger than any old GameStop you've ever seen. Every single video game known to man, available from the comfort of your own home. So what are you waiting for? Hop in!
So, about those blistering download speeds?
New release. Lots of people downloading it.
Look, it's not a big deal. I didn't really want to play this game anyway. It's brand new. Can we just return it, please?
Oh, I think you misunderstand. In the future,
you own nothing. Oh my god, I get to finally take off these glasses. I can't see crap without my glasses. I feel like Velma from Scooby-Doo. The good one, I hope. We're living in the 21st century, baby. That disk drive? Don't need it. Throw it in the garbage. Most of the world has access to the internet and the digital era of gaming is here to stay. But is that really a good thing? Let's talk about it. And the first thing we gotta mention, just from the get-go, yeah, digital media has been amazing for the industry in many ways. All of modern-day PC gaming solely relies on the purchase of digital goods, or rather, the leasing of them. Many areas in the world just aren't privileged enough to have a plethora of gaming stores dotted across every little small town. I'm having the pleasure of growing up in a small city located in the middle of rural Brazil, also known as hell. Walking into a GameStop and buying a game on release date has never been an experience I've had in my life. Here it usually goes something like this. I'll go to the mall, then I'll go to the only store that sells games in the mall, I'll walk in, they have 47 copies of FC Soccer 25, just sitting there, FC Soccer 25, FC Soccer 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 10, 9, 8, 4, 3, 2, 1, ready to launch! And they usually still have some like Ubisoft slop games for the Xbox One thrown in there. Look, a copy of Skull and Bones. With the others. They're still here, huh? I have a Nintendo Switch. Does nobody in this place have any games for the Switch?
Here, I got a couple.
You know what? I'm just going home. I'm just going home. Needless to say, I've been practically forced into the digital lifestyle. The only game I've bought for my Nintendo Switch, physically, a console that I've had since 2017, is the game I bought at launch. Breath of the Wild. This is the only game I've had for this system. So I gotta give digital media the credit it deserves. It spread video games all across the world, even to areas where you couldn't ever hope to play anything on release day. Now it's as easy as booting up your console and getting the thing. It serves to connect the industry in a way it never was before, making gaming widely accessible to a much larger group of people, while also providing the clear benefit of not having to go outside and touch grass just to get a new video game. It also massively propelled the indie game scene, removing the need to find a publisher and pay for manufacturing of tons of physical units of your game. Now, as an indie developer, you can just submit it to Steam. Lord knows they'll let anything in there nowadays, and get your game played by thousands, if not millions if you're lucky. We've seen countless now classic indie games releasing and succeeding in this landscape, whereas if you were to go back to the PS2... Wow. that was scary. Whereas if we were to go back to the PS2 or GameCube days, I don't think any of those devs would have stood a chance. Just like I won't stand a chance in the wastelands of the YouTube algorithm without your subscription. If you're liking the content so far, please subscribe. Thank you. So the digital era of gaming is great then, right? Only upsides, only benefits. Gaming made available to all in an industry larger than it ever was. Well, that's what could have been. But no. Because we're coming from the premise of digital media giving you more options, obviously the rise of digital storefronts is a positive, a massive one at that. But you don't own the games you buy online. You own a license to play them. You can't share that game with a friend because it's attached to your account. You can't resell it after you're done playing to help you save up for the next big game. You can't even refund it if you don't like it, apart from like Steam. Good job there, guys. So it should be obvious then, there are clear advantages for both physical and digital media. And being able to consume both this past decade, it's what has made video games so accessible. You wanna buy something online on a Steam sale? Go for it. Found a physical copy of a game you like on a secondhand market for cheap? You can do it, you can buy it, you can play it, you can put it in your console. But that's not happening anymore. Optical media drives, what just a couple years ago was a given, later became an option, and now you have to go out of your way to get one. There's clearly a trend there, and I don't like it. These big console manufacturers, they don't want you using physical media. They don't want you buying secondhand games or used games. They don't want to deal with pesky retailers. They own their digital storefronts and they get to charge a fee on any game sold within them. It's clear at this point that when the opportunity presents itself, companies will phase out physical media. I don't think the next Xbox consoles will have a physical media option. I think PS6 will technically still have them, but will not come with an optical drive, forcing you to get one separately to enjoy a diminishing amount of titles still being physically manufactured. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the next generation, the only company sticking with physical media is Nintendo, and by that point, we might see that even their interest is waning. Maybe the Switch 2 Lite doesn't feature a cartridge slot, and we can see the beginnings of the end there too. Collecting physical media has become a hobby in and of itself, and for many gamers, it's an irreplaceable part of being a gamer, making your own gamer room. Building their own game room with walls filled with games from all the genres and console generations, it's a hobby in and of itself. And soon, I think it will become even more niche than it already is. And a lot more expensive too. Gamers will have to rely on buying collector's editions and special edition physical media versions of games that otherwise have no purpose being mass-produced. Unless companies really like the idea of selling customers cardboard discs forever. Having less options is never good, and seeing physical media being phased out right in front of my eyes definitely hurts a bit. As consumers, we should always strive for fair competition and good business practices, and I can't help but get worried of the fact that we're basically giving the three big console manufacturers a total monopoly on the sale of video games on their console platforms. Maybe in the future we'll see an Epic Games versus Apple situation hitting the console space as smaller companies argue for open access to multiple storefronts and the big three fight with all their might to keep their ecosystems locked down. But we won't know until we're there. For the time being, take advantage of that optical media drive or cartridge slot in your console, buy games for cheap when you can, and if you're in a privileged position to buy physical media on release, do so. Because in 10 years, that luxury might be but a distant memory of a past now long gone. Thank you so much for watching. You have made it to the end. I would appreciate your subscription if you've made it this far, as it means a lot to a small little YouTube channel like my own. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye!